That's the way they all became the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. That's the way they became the Brady Bunch.
The scientific culture that we're consumer culture, not that everything about it is, it tends to champion its way at the expense of we have the right knowledge and because our system shows it. It's our system, and we measured it, and see, we got these results.
It's almost
of course you got those results. It's the system you created. You're playing.
It's like the Western scientific paradigm isn't consciously acknowledging these non-local dimensions, these spiritual dimensions, but I think it still has a very powerful impact on them as a shadow. And I think maybe because Western civilization is the most polarized, I don't know, I guess on the surface it appears like they're not utilizing this stuff, but I think it deeply influences, like anybody who represses their shadows, they're going to come back at them in very powerful ways as an outsider. So, I mean, you could even say the technology revolution that's been happening because we've so taken ourselves away from these spiritual dimensions. This whole technology revolution that's been happening at faster and faster rates, you could even say from a shamanic perspective or for a spiritual dimension that this is the new sphere manifesting in the physical world, and it's just using the path of least resistance. Oh, here's people who don't believe in anything but technology. That's exactly what we need for the new sphere to manifest in the physical realm. We need some people who think this is it. So they're gonna keep building new inventions. They're gonna build the radio and all this stuff, and eventually they'll get there. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like these, I guess, higher realities are. I'm thinking of it like a string, and science is manipulating the very bottom of the same amount of movement up here. And so as time gets faster, they're having to do more and more and more and keep up. And so we might to keep up, we might have to sort of slide up the string to those higher realities so that we don't have to be like scrambling around so much.
Yeah. I posted this on the forum too. It's the Pythagorean monochord. It's such a fascinating, beautiful symbolic system, and it's basically that exact principle that unless, and it's what William Irwin Thompson says, unless our vibrations can match the rate of, unless our spiritual knowledge and state of being can match the quickness of our technologies, those technologies and the sciences behind them are just going to eat us up. They're just going to
I wonder if, so if maybe time is always spiraling forever. So our universe is, I don't know, maybe 16 billion light years of time across, and it takes that 16 billion years of time, and as we get sort of more and more out of date as time goes on, and then reality slams into you and punch you up to where you're like sort of at the beginning of the fractal realm with tons of leeway and power, and then you're moving more and more down the string, and you're at less and less effectiveness, and then so that would be like the higher ages is right as you get hit with that, I don't know, maybe it's a 2012 singularity, and then
coming full circle,
sort of fall slowly over forever.
It's like we were talking earlier about the Indian Kali Yuga system, or the 4 ages, where it goes from gold to silver to bronze to iron, and we're in the Iron Age now, apparently. But as it's like a clock winding down, and so as we're nearing the end of, say, the Iron Age, it also means that we might be nearing the beginning of the Golden Age. That's just the natural way, the way that things happen. And I think whether it's a myth or not, that's an important thing to keep in mind, and it's an important thing for a culture, in my opinion, which is degrading and coming apart at the seams and slowly destroying itself, itself. If we don't have that at the very least, a hope, but if we don't have that potential, I feel like when the going gets rough, so to speak, it's going to be even more.
I think this kind of mythic knowledge is exactly what we need, because it's going to help us make sense of this world. and maybe not even just for hope, but just to realize how myth and these archetypal cyclical activities of time that occur connect us back to evolution. They connect this whole story, and they kind of put humanity back into this sort of universal process, which is spiritual and physical, and this, I think, is what we need the most, really. I don't know how else we're gonna make sense of this in a way that's not still unconscious, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Hello, Kitty.
Even
Promise
before
I'm wanting to
mythical,
sort of stick up for the mainstream a little bit in the culture at
Nice
large and
cat.
everything. It seems like maybe things are changing a lot faster than we think. I mean, I know, in the last 5 or 10 years, this whole idea of spirituality has, at least for the younger generations, completely started to dominate the conversation. There's still a lot of fundamentalism and literalism and in America, and obviously in a lot of the Islamic world, but and elsewhere. But I think there's also a lot of hopeful that things are changing very quickly. It only takes one generation to have a different view of the world for an entire civilization to change.
What I see, I would agree, but what I see is two extremes, meaning extreme fundamentalism, materialism, whatever you want to call it, and the other side that's pushing maybe just as hard and just as fast, but those are colliding, and that's why you see so much kind of crazy stuff, and it seems to be happening at like a quicker rate as well, like a faster pace for sure.
They call that what, the sunset effect.
Yeah.
At its very end, it's its brightest, and if you think about it, if we are going to this sort of planetary age, and we're moving out of this provincial, industrial, national age, we have all of these holdovers that haven't been able to be let go or transmuted into this new unconscious reality that's already here. As like Thompson says, the planetary age is already here in its shadow unconscious form. And now we're just struggling with this acceptance because we don't have perhaps the mentality or the technology or just the vision to be able to, or culture really is what we're talking about, to embrace it. So everybody's fighting, people are regressing, people are jumping back and forth. It's complete chaos in the midst of transformation.
Yeah, if we don't have the culture for it, this comes back to the notion of creating our own culture. Does that solve the problems that we're coming up against? If the system doesn't work, just create another system. Is it that easy? Are we doing it right now?
Yeah, we have to. I don't know. It's funny. I mean, I think amongst all of us, there's a desperation.
Gotta stump the room.
There seems to be like a kind of franticness that happens with us, especially right now. This kind of networking that's happening. So, I don't know. I think there does need to be a sense of that, like a sense of like this better happen right now.
This better happen eventually, or else.
It would be interesting.
Yeah, well, if there is a guy in mind, and if it's autopoetic.
We're getting there's a breakup. There's a little bit of breakup on your.
There's a lot of lag too, I think.
Yeah.
Because you paused for me and I said that like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's lag on both sides.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna have to splice
time travel.
There's like a 10-second delay going on here.
What do we do?
It would just be.